All right, anime ranking time. We're gonna rank all the episodes that I've watched over the past week. I think we're on like what, week 7 now. I don't know. Look at the title. This is from Wednesday of last week all the way to Monday of this current week. These are the newest episodes I learned recently. You can actually see how the community voted on things. Though, even though this is looking a little better than last time, though I don't know why the fuck Dust Beyond the End of the World is at peak, nor is One Punch Man at good. One Punch Man was at like fucking Dookie last week. Like, they actually put it on Dookie, and a worse episode aired this week, and now it's in good. I don't know. As you know, though, I am the one true opinion, so we will do it. We're gonna start off strong with Hero Without a Class. Now, this has been a fun show. I think it's been fast food, but here's the interesting thing. We're bumping this up to good this week. This was a legitimately good episode this past week, to a degree that the way I explained it in my video, it's kind of like for a while it's been McDonald's. I enjoy watching it, but like I'm not going to eat it every single day. We're now at a mom and pop diner. Like, this is some enjoyable good stuff. If they keep it up, would it get to great? I don't know, but I enjoyed it. It was quite good. Should I get controversial right away? I'm feeling a little bold. This is called My Status as an Assassin Obviously Exceeds the Heroes. You might think, Brandon, my status as an assassin is peak. You absolutely bet your ass it is. They dropped 4 isekai plot twists in one episode. Is it fast paced? You could argue that. But here's the thing. The fact that by the end of this first season, I'm probably going to have 2 or 3 seasons worth of isekai story in one season. We have more plot development in terms of romance than Rent-a-Girlfriend has had over hundreds and hundreds of chapters. The fact that I'm going to get more of a complete story in one season than most of these guys get in like 5, I don't give a shit what you say. This is probably going to be at the end of the peak list, but it's still peak. I love this episode personally. Oh, we're gonna get to these two later. My Hero. You know, we're gonna start here. I gotta ponder and sit on this a bit. This is probably where I want to put it, but I gotta let this simmer. For now, I'm gonna discuss this later. You know what? Fuck it. Let's just drop another peak though. You know what? Like, let's get freaky with it. Kamen Rider. Now, my fans are fraudulent. They begged and pleaded me for talk about this on the channel, and no one actually watched the Kamen Rider videos. But we're in the territory with this show where basically the whole like villain-looking characters are now the most interesting characters. Not because the hero characters are bad, but it's just what they did with the whole Shocker storyline and like gang warfare. I don't know, man. It had more in common with Gachakuda with the way guns were getting pulled. That was an amazing episode. Episode 7, I think it was. Best episode of the show by far. Let's do... I'm going to get controversial. Now, you know, this is normally up here. Not this week. Do I think the show is now ruined? No. But they introduced a very pedophilic character, and it's not even like straight up. Like, just the more it went on, the more disgusting the man became. I just hope that his knocker sister kills him and herself. They could have easily fixed it by having it do like what Mushoku Tensei did and like expose like, hey, we're not making a joke out of this. Like, he's objectively a shitty person. But instead, like, the dad straight up was like, you're a lolicon, don't touch your new sister. Like, it was not good. Like, I don't think it's this, mainly because the second half actually got really interesting and there was some fun violence, there was some fun action, and there was normal To Your Eternity good stuff, but I don't think it was a good episode. It was, in my humble opinion, the worst episode of To Your Eternity. I did not enjoy my time with it. There was aspects I enjoyed, but not overall. Spy Family. It was a pretty great episode. Anya's currently trapped on a bus with kidnappers. There's this one moment in particular where so they put a bomb around her neck. It's a fake bomb and she knows that, so she's kind of like, it's okay, Anya's got it, and all the kids are freaking out. It's probably one of the funniest scenes in Spy Family history. I might bump it up more, but for right now we're gonna say it's great. Ganoshia. Really great episode as well this week. They're introducing a lot of new characters. It was really fun because like I really thought we were getting into our first multi-episode loop. Yeah, we didn't. Still, very enjoyable. I think media literacy is dying with how many people don't understand the mechanics of the show, which is a shame, but either way, it's a really good show. Dark History of a Villainess. Now, these are the shows that are hard to properly rate because I'm taking into consideration everything. I'm not just taking into consideration production. I'm taking into consideration every aspect that makes an anime what it is. Because if I'm just looking at enjoyment, it's like up there, no joke. But I also have to consider production, which puts it down here. This is one of the worst animated shows I'm watching this season, but I think it balances out into a good category this week. I think. Listen, you already know. Sonda's been great. Sonda just gets better and better the more I watch of it. And the current episode I saw, there's a class that is so messed in the head that they straight up what do they ask for Santa for Christmas? His thumbs. And why his thumbs? Because it would be the most hindrance because we wouldn't have our thumbs to do shit. Insane episode. Whew. Backstabbed was good this week. You know what? I might even put it up here this week. Mainly because last week's episode, some people thought I rated it too lowly, but it's mainly because it played by what I expected the show to do. That's why it's often Spy Family is in the good or great, because it's like it does what I expect. And if you're just doing what I expect, I can't continuously say it's great. This week's episode, though, with the revenge and how they handled everything, surprised me more. So I think I could leave it at great. Monster Wants to Eat Me. It was good. Not remarkable. Like, I wouldn't say it was great. And overall, in terms of enjoyment, I do think it's probably this ranking right now. I enjoyed Hero Without a Class more than Dark Villainess, which I enjoyed more than Monster. Still a good show. Is it fully dropped from YouTube? Probably not. It's probably every other week, but we'll see. May I ask for one final thing? Now, if we're looking at what Crunchyroll did to it, it's fucking horrible because they made us wait way too long for subs that were proper. It was a pretty great episode. Now, here's where it gets tricky. No, I think that's right. So far, I think this is how I enjoyed the shows. Very enjoyable episode. Also, the funniest thing, so I didn't talk about it on YouTube. We'll talk about it on YouTube on Friday. So you know how Miss Pinky over here? Hold up, let's zoom in. You know, Miss Pinky here? She she got lightning cooned. She didn't get truck cooned, she got struck down by lightning. So funny as shit, bro. Isekai Quartet. I'm not gonna put it into peak this week. It was a really enjoyable episode, but I think it's more great. I think it's, I don't know, I think something like that this week. Overall, it's a peak show. But it was really cool because it felt like Eminence in Shadow, but from the other characters' points of view. It really felt like an actual Eminence in Shadow episode, just directed from the other characters' points of view. Wild Ass Boss. Ooh. Honestly, there was a lot of really great episodes this week. The fucking Dina, is that her name? That bitch, man. It pretty much exposes. Maybe something like that. Grieving Soul. It was good. It was a good episode. I didn't talk about it on YouTube. It was funny. We get the aftermath of everything. We pretty much just learned that Cry is what's it called? More or less between Arnold and everyone else, he has manipulated things to such a degree. He exposes like an assassin on a roof, and I can't trust that guard or the king as far as I can throw him. I don't know exactly where they're going with it, but it was pretty good. Twisted Wonderland. Something like that, maybe. Smack dab in the middle. Good, getting better. Oddly enough, one of the best action scenes of the entire week, believe it or not. Gachikuta. I'm not gonna say Gachikuta was peak this week. And that might be controversial. And some people are gonna get really mad that I put Status Assassin above it. But people, no matter how I explain this, people just don't listen to what I say. I don't think I don't think Status Assassin as a whole is better than Gachakuda, okay? I really don't. But in terms of this particular episode this week, I think this one surprised me more and maybe had more fun. However, everything they're setting up with the series, with Rudo's weapon and everything, it will go back to peak. But if I'm just putting everything in the same peak category every week, you're never going to take my opinion seriously, because it means my opinions never change. But they do change. Now, this is where it's going to get real spicy, okay? This isn't going to piss people off. But that might. Because here's the thing. This is what I mean. One Punch Man, right? In terms of content, production, and all that, that's why it's kind of been in borderline good or mid. There's more to it. The issue is that even the content this week was bad on top of bad animation. This is where it gets interesting. This production, Banished Court Magician, people aren't going to believe me, right? Banished Court Magician is actually a worse animated show than One Punch Man. This show is getting more similar to the Newgate in terms of production value than One Punch Man. Now, here's the thing. I actually enjoyed this episode of Banished Court Magician, so I am going to put it in the mid tier. I think, honestly, content-wise, it was a very enjoyable episode and good. The issue stems from how bad the production was outside like the last couple of minutes. One Punch Man, however, was better animated than Banished Court Magician this week. Like, I'm not even exaggerating with that. It's kind of insane. But yeah. You know, it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. So let's just take a step back. This is a much different looking list than last week. We got at the very top. Hold up. Let's just move this a little. At the very top, we got, I'm saying Kamen Rider was best this week, followed by Sonda, followed by Status Assassin. Status Assassin will be controversial. I don't give a fuck. It's my opinion. Gachakuda, Genosha, My Hero, Spy Family, Wild Last Boss, Isekai Quartet, Backstab, Backwater Dungeon, and May I Ask for One Final Thing. All great fucking episodes this week. Like, this week particular cooked visually, narratively, entertainment-wise. The good. Reminder, good's not an insult. We got Grieving Soul, Hero Without a Class, Twisted Wonderland, Dark History Villainess, and Monster Wants to Eat Me. Great, good episodes. And the reason I say great, good, it's like, they're really good episodes. There's a lot that's great about them, but like, they're not I don't put them in the same level this week as this. Entertainment-wise, probably Hero Without a Class and Grieving Soul could have been great. But like I said, I don't just take my overall enjoyment. I take how did they look visually, narratively? Did they do anything I didn't expect? That's how these rankings work. Mid, if the production was good on Banished Court Magician, we would be in the good category. To Your Eternity, production and some of the entertainment value really good and even borderline great. Unfortunately, a lot of what they did thematically and everything was not good to me. We'll see how it goes. One Punch Man. I've defended a lot about this show. It's really weird. Like, I actually had people on the latest One Punch Man video range from I'm too harsh and I'm too much of a glazer. Despite the only positivity I said was that I liked the previous episode and I didn't like the current episode. But I do think it was a bad episode overall. But yes, I do think Banished Court Magician was the worst produced episode of the week. And I don't even think that's up for debate. And honestly, even Dark History can borderline get that way. But I do think Dark History Villainess slapped on these. Anyway, that's currently, I think, the list. I like it. I think this is good. Eventually, we'll get caught up on Ranma. I'm happy with that. If you want to see all my lists, I started saving them. Just search up, what is it? Brandon Reviews? Yeah, Brandon Reviews on tier lists. And you can see them. All right. Take care.